Hey there, Life Editors! Welcome back to the Life Editor Weekend Virtual Retreat. Thank you so much for joining me today. All right, this is session 3, and we are talking about 7 common habits that sabotage your success. Dun dun dun. So we're getting real during this session, and we're going to talk about things that you're doing that you probably don't realize are preventing you from reaching those great big goals that you have for yourself. And I want you to reach your goals, and I know you do too. So stick around for this session. All right, for those of you who are brand new, allow me to introduce myself. I'm Sage Grayson, and I'm a former book editor turned life coach. I help ambitious women edit their habits, routines, and mindsets to balance their happiness at work and home. I'm a life editor, and so are you. All right, so we are doing the Life Editor Weekend Virtual Retreat all day. We are streaming on Facebook and YouTube. And the reason why is because this is our kickoff celebration for my Life Editor Academy Mastermind Group. Doors are open right now. You can apply right now for Life Editor Academy. Just click the link below in the description and you can apply for my mastermind group. It's 5 months, July through November. So stick around. But if you can't wait, click the link below and get all the details about Life Editor Academy and apply now. Doors are open right now. All right. For those of you who are here live, or if you're watching the replay, make sure you've clicked the link to download your Life Editor Weekend workbook. We are using this workbook in every session, and I don't want you to miss out on taking your notes during the retreats. Make sure you download your workbook so you can stick with us throughout every session. All right. So every session of the Life Editor Weekend Virtual Retreat is a giveaway. We love a giveaway. And the giveaway for this session is the Boost Your Business Starter Pack. This was a really, really fun digital program to put together. So the Boost Your Business Starter Pack is a collection of 5 of the most popular video training classes from my Life Editor Clubhouse membership site. So this is a great way for you to try out the training classes from the Clubhouse without having to be locked in to a long subscription plan. So it's kind of a try before you buy product. And this one contains the 5 most popular business classes. So this is 15 mistakes entrepreneurs make and how to fix them, email list basics, list building 101, warm letter campaigns, and how to price your products and services to get more sales. All of those classes are combined into the Boost Your Business Starter Pack. So if you want to be entered into the giveaway for this session, be sure to leave a comment below and like this video either on Facebook or YouTube. And you've got through Sunday, June 12th, 2022 to enter the giveaway for the Boost Your Business Starter Pack. So like the video, leave a comment on Facebook or YouTube under this session's video. All right, and you'll be entered to win that giveaway. All right, let's get into this session. We're on session 3, and we are talking about 7 common habits that sabotage your success. And we're all human here. We're all life editors here. So you might be doing these things, but don't realize you're sabotaging your success. And deleting those things that are holding you back can really free up so much time, energy, and motivation for you to do the things that truly matter, the things that can truly help you reach your goals. So let's talk about step 2 of my life editing process. There we go, which is delete bad influences. So for most of the sessions during the retreat, I'm going to be talking about one of the steps of my life editing process and how it relates to your goals and your productivity. So to delete bad influences, here's the mistake a lot of people make. When they're ready to make changes in their lives, they just jump forward to those good habits that they want to create. They want to go to the gym. They want to start paying off debt. They want to build their business. They want to start dating again. They want to start meal planning and prepping. Whatever your goal is, they just jump to that new good thing right away. But not surprisingly, after a few weeks, they lose their motivation and they start encountering these challenges and obstacles in their way, and they give up. And then they slide back into their old bad habits and they're like, oh, well, why didn't I stick with it again? And I found over my more than 11 years of being a life coach that you really have to go in order with my life editing process. There's a reason I put them in this order to help you out. If you don't first create that strong foundation to support you when things get tough, and if you don't first delete those bad things that are holding you back, then there's no way you're going to stick to those good new habits that you're trying to form. Like I say to some of my clients who are artists, you have to clean the canvas first before you can put paint on it. You can't paint on a dirty canvas. Yes, yes. So you've got to delete all of those things that are holding you back. You've got to create some room by getting rid of the junk, or like I say, deleting those bad influences. So bad influences could be people, situations, habits, or things that are not adding value to your life. In fact, they could be actively sabotaging you and holding you back. Leave a comment and let me know, can you recognize any of these bad influences in your life? What things are sabotaging you right now? Maybe it's a nasty boss or a job that doesn't play to your strengths, or maybe it's poor spending habits and you're just impulse shopping, or maybe it's poor eating habits, or maybe you've just got a really bad relationship with one of your kids or something like that, or maybe your house is falling apart. I don't know. What are the bad influences in your life that are making it hard for you to reach your goals and live your best life? Okay, so if you're having trouble coming up with your bad influences, I have some prompts for you. Things that could be included in your bad influences list are things that drain your energy. So, what things drain your energy that after you're around that person or that thing, or after you do that activity, you feel totally drained? Like, oh, I have nothing else to give. I'm just like running on fumes. Maybe it's a coworker who just like zaps all of your energy and happiness. Or maybe it's eating something that doesn't make you feel good. Maybe it's drinking something that makes you feel lethargic. Or maybe it's just being in a certain situation that just like, it just drains you. And then you just drag yourself home after being there and you're like, why did I do that thing? So anything that drains your energy is a good indication that it's a bad influence. Anything that frustrates you, what frustrates you in your life? Maybe it's like a car that you own that you don't know if it's going to turn on every time you try to drive it. Like, is it going to work this time? I don't know. Or maybe you have a bunch of broken things or worn out pens all over your desk. Or maybe there's something else like a routine or a process that just doesn't work for you. And you keep having to push through this process. It's frustrating and it makes everyone mad. It's just not working. So anything that's frustrating you, that's a bad influence. Anything that makes your life difficult. What makes your life difficult? Maybe it's where you live. Maybe you don't like your neighborhood, or maybe you're too far away from the good grocery store, or maybe there's just things that like hold you back and make it difficult for you to do your job. Maybe there's someone at work who keeps undermining you. Maybe you don't have the equipment that you need to run your business. Like maybe you have like a really slow internet connection, or your laptop is glitching all the time, or whatever it is, you have technology issues. Those make it very difficult for you to reach your goals. Next one, anything that makes you feel bad about yourself. Yeah. So maybe you have some clothes that don't fit and they're super tight. You keep trying to squeeze into them. You keep trying to put them on, and they just make you feel bad about yourself. Because you don't fit into those clothes anymore. Like, yes, clothes could be a bad influence. You need to get rid of those things that don't fit anymore. Or maybe you go to your job, but you're asked to do things that are kind of shady, or maybe like borderline illegal, and it just feels really creepy. And it makes you feel bad about yourself every time you do those things. Or maybe you have friends or frenemies who are constantly saying nasty things about your weight or your job or your personality, and they just make you feel awful. Like maybe it's a family member or a mother-in-law or someone who's constantly criticizing you. Anyone who makes you feel bad about yourself, that's a bad influence. Next one, anyone who makes you feel like the worst version of yourself. So that's similar to someone criticizing you, but whenever you're around this person or this situation, you turn into nasty you. Like maybe this person encourages you to drink or do drugs or do any kind of risky behavior. And afterwards, you're like, why did I do that? Why did I do that? I had this one friend in high school and college who just brought out the worst in me. And every time I was around her, I was just like, ugh, I was the worst, nastiest, gossipiest, worst version of myself. And afterwards, I was like, why do I keep hanging out with this person who turns me into the bad version of me? And we all have good and bad parts of us. But if there's one person or one situation that every time you're around them or in that situation, it just makes you into like the worst version of you, that's a bad influence that you must delete. And the last way to figure out if you have a bad influence in your life is if it's anything that you wish would just disappear. And you start having this magical thinking, like if I could wave a magic wand, I would make this job disappear, or this bad weather disappear, or this unsafe neighborhood disappear, or my weight disappear, or whatever, or this nasty person in my life, I would make them disappear. If it's something that you wish you could make disappear, that's a bad influence. So I would love to hear from you, whether you're watching this live or you're watching the replay. Leave a comment and let me know, what are some of the bad influences in your life and how did you spot them? Did you know right away they were bad for you? Or did it take you a few years or months to figure out like, whoa, I shouldn't be doing that because that is awful. All right. Well, Sage, if I've come up with this list of bad influences, now what? Now what do I do? Well, when you come up with your bad influences, you have two options. You can either delete the bad influence and get it out of your life completely. You can quit that job. You can end that friendship. You can stop drinking alcohol or eating that food that makes you feel bad. You could move someplace completely different. Whatever it is, you can get that bad thing out of your life. You can throw out all of those pens that are worn out and they don't write anymore. You can throw out those clothes that don't fit anymore. You can completely delete those bad influences. That's number one. If you can delete a bad influence, that is usually the best choice. But if you can't delete a bad influence, your second option is to create a boundary around that bad influence to protect yourself, to protect your time, your money, your energy, your mental health. So let's say your bad influence is your boss. You have a nasty boss, but you can't quit right now because you desperately need that money to pay your bills. So you've got to stay at your current job while you are in the process of looking for another job. To create a boundary, you might only meet with your manager when somebody else is in the room with you, like get another coworker to come to a meeting with you or whatever, so that there's a witness. Or you might only do the things that your manager tells you if she can give you written email instructions so that you have that paper trail in case anything goes wrong. Or you might refuse to do overtime anymore because you don't want to spend more time with that nasty boss. Or you might get HR involved and say, hey, this boss is being horrible to me and I need you to intervene and do something about it. So there are ways to create boundaries where you're still involved with that bad influence, but you're not allowing it to harm you in the way that it had before. So two choices when you've got a bad influence: delete the bad influence outright or create a boundary around it to protect yourself. All right, let me give you some examples of bad influences. And I want you to open up your workbook. And one of the first pages, we've got the list of all of the life editing process steps here. And in this one where it says delete bad influences, all of the edits that you want to make to delete your bad influences, I want you to write them right here. And remember, when you're making your 12-week plan, some of these things might be part of your 12-week plan. You might need to end that friendship or quit that job or put a boundary around that negative thing in your life. So write all of your delete bad influence edits here on this page. But let me give you some examples if you need help with finding your bad influences. Okay, so things you can delete. Obviously, stop hanging out with bad friends. I don't care if you've known them since high school, if they make you into the worst version of yourself, if they're always bringing you down, if you don't like hanging out with them, you dread them, delete it. You don't need those people in your life. I don't care if you don't have any other friends in your life. You can make new friends. You don't need to keep people in your life simply because you've been around them for a while or simply because they're family. Like, delete them out of your life. I certainly did that, and I was much happier after cutting out abusive family members. All right. Another way to delete your bad influences with your home is to clean your home from top to bottom, every single room, and get rid of anything that drains your energy. So get rid of those clothes that don't fit. Get rid of those gifts that you're keeping out of obligation. Get rid of those things that are just gathering dust and you're not using them. You could sell them and get some money from them. Get rid of anything that's broken. Make a list of things that need to be repaired. Just go through your entire house, every single room, anything that needs to go because it's draining your energy. Oh, Beverly says, thank you for the live. I cannot see the link to download. Oh, to download the your workbook. Beverly, in the description for this session, it should have a link saying download your workbook. And then there's a little link there to download your workbook. When you click on that link, it'll take you to a page where you can enter your name and email and download your workbook. So if anyone else is having trouble downloading the workbook, go to the description for this video. Depending on if you're watching it on Facebook or YouTube, it's either above the video or below the video. You might need to click read more to see the link, but there should be a link in the description for this video that says download your workbook, and click the link, and that's where you download your workbook. Please let me know if you're able to view the workbook, because I want everyone to have it so they can keep working right along for every session. So make sure you excuse me, download the workbook. Okay. So that second example was to go through your house room by room and get rid of anything that drains your energy. And that's a lot nicer to have all of that clean, uncluttered space in your house. Next, quit your terrible job, get a new one, or start a business. I know that is much, much easier said than done. But if you are really, really struggling with your mental health at your job and it is just draining you every day, or it's interfering with your relationships or whatever, it's making you feel awful about yourself, you do not need it. Like, get out of that bad situation as soon as you can, or put as many boundaries in place as possible. Like, have a friend stand with you when that nasty person is in the room, or get HR involved, or get a paper trail, make sure everything is emailed to you, whatever you need to do to protect yourself in that bad situation. I do recommend that, like, if you are really, really struggling in the corporate world, consider starting your own business. This is what I do with many of my clients in my Life Editor Academy mastermind group, which is open now. You can click the link in the description. And think about, like, what do you really want out of life? And it's not to be berated. It's not to be like yelled at. It's not to be like used up and wrung out like a sponge. And it's not to be like feeling like so bad about yourself by the end of the day. Like, no money is worth that. So really take a strong look at your job situation and do what you can to protect yourself. Next, put limits around when and where you see certain people. So yeah, if you have to be around certain people, and I think it's very rare that you actually have to be around certain people. I think most of the time you can avoid people who are awful to you if you just think a little bit of other solutions. But let's say there's someone like in your family and you can't get away from them right now. Make sure you only see them in safe settings. So like one of my clients was having a problem with her mother-in-law, which many of my clients do, but she and her husband got on the same page and agreed to only see that mother-in-law in public settings. That mother-in-law was no longer invited to their house and they no longer went to her house. So do what you can to put the boundary around those people, put limits on when and where you'll see them. And the final example I have is to throw out your junk food or only eat those junk food items outside of your home. So if you're trying to eat healthier, or if there's some kind of food that you love, but it just upsets your stomach or whatever, make it a boundary that you do not have that in your home. So anything that you have, like the chips and cookies or whatever it is for you, go ahead and throw it out now and only eat those things outside your home. So if you're at a party, of course you can have some chips. Or if you're at a restaurant, you can have French fries, but you're not going to invite those things into your home. Create that boundary for yourself. All right, so remember, in your workbook, let me open it up one more time. In the delete bad influences section, make sure you write down anything in your life that you feel like you need to delete or put a boundary on. Okay, So that was your introduction to step 2 of the life editing process, delete bad influences. But let's get into the topic for this session, which is 7 common habits that sabotage your success. And I know you're going to recognize a bunch of these, and they've happened to me too. so let's see if we can clean up these bad habits. Okay, the first bad habit is number 1 is not saying no. You've got to say no more often. This is a really great way to clean up any of those bad influences in your life. You can say no. No, I'm not doing overtime. No, I'm not driving you all over the place. No, I don't want to hang out with you. Or no, I don't want to eat that thing. Or no, I don't want to accept your clutter and have it clutter up my house. Whatever it is, you can say no to things in your life. You have permission to do that. As you've probably heard before, no is a complete sentence, and you don't have to justify it to anyone. If you want to take your paid time off at work, you can just say, no, I'm taking a paid time off day. You don't have to justify it to your boss. You don't have to come up with the perfect excuse like, oh, I'm taking a day off to do whatever. You don't have to justify it. It's your day off and you're entitled to it. So no, you're just taking a day off. You don't have to justify it to anyone. Or if you don't want to go someplace because you feel unsafe there, just say no. Or if you don't want to be pressured into eating seconds or thirds or whatever at the family dinner party, just say no. Create that boundary for yourself. Delete those things. Stop doing that. You have permission to say no. So if you are in the bad habit of not saying no and just being bulldozed by everyone else, I want you this weekend, take it upon yourself and say no to something. Say no to something this weekend. All right, that's number 1. Number 2 is not having strong boundaries. Yes, this gets a lot of people into really, really bad situations and trouble. So let me give you this analogy about why you need strong boundaries in your life. So I have a dog. Her name is Skyla, and she's 11 years old, and she is a boxer pit bull mix. And we take her to the dog park often because she loves running around with the other doggies. So if you've ever been to a dog park, you know that it is a fenced-in area. So if you have a dog and you're in your normal neighborhood and you take your dog off your leash, your dog could run around through the neighborhood, could get hit by a car, could get lost, could get stuck somewhere, and it's dangerous. But if you take your dog to a dog park where it's nice and fenced in and it's safe, your dog can run around and be her little doggy self in that safe boundary. Boundaries lead to freedom in that way. If you don't have a boundary protecting you from the bad stuff, you can't really be free and do what you want to do. You can't really be yourself unless you're protected. So I want you to think of your life as a dog park and create that boundary so you can run around and be yourself without worrying about whatever things are other obstacles out there, like cars hitting you like dogs. So think about that. Where can you create a boundary? Maybe, well, here's the boundary that I have, and I've had it for many, many years, is I don't go out on Sunday nights. That is my boundary. So from like noon on Sunday, I am in the house. I'm not going out. I'm not going out to dinner. I'm not going to go hang out with someone. I'm not going to a concert. I'm not going to go shopping, whatever. I'm not doing that on Sunday night because I need that time to decompress and calm down before my week starts. It's like sacred to me to have Sunday nights at home. So that's a boundary, and I don't cross that boundary. Like that is a hard and firm boundary I have in my life. So what other boundaries do you have? Like maybe you don't go to places where they're serving alcohol so you can protect yourself. Or maybe you don't visit a nasty person anywhere except in public. Or maybe you don't do overtime anymore so you have time for your kids and family. Like whatever it is, you create that strong boundary. All right. The third bad habit that sabotages your success is waiting until you feel like it. Oh, I'm calling you out. I know so many of my clients have this as a bad habit. Let's say there's something that you want to do in your life or something that could help you reach your goals, but you're not doing it right now. You are waiting until you feel like it. Like, I'll write my novel when I feel like it. I'll join the gym when I feel like it. Or I'll start my business when I feel like it. if you wait until you feel like it, whenever that might be, you will be waiting forever. And here's the thing, people who reach their goals know that you can't wait until you feel like it. You can't rely on motivation and willpower to reach your goals, because there will definitely be times when you're exhausted and tired and you would rather just sit on the couch and watch TV and not do your work, whatever your work is. Instead, I want you to set routines that help you get to where you want to go. So if you want to start a business, you're going to set up some kind of like business building routine to build up your email subscriber list, to do your marketing, to reach out to your potential clients. And you're going to do a little bit every single day, whether or not you feel like it. Like you've got to post on social media and do your blog posts and send your emails, regardless of whether or not you feel like it. That's the only way your business can grow. If you want to lose weight, you've got to track your calories and eat the foods that are good for you and work out and whatever, whether or not you feel like it. I know people who've had the same goals for years and years and years, but they never make any progress on it because they don't feel like it, which is so disappointing. And I don't want that to happen to you. I want you to take action, have a set routine, do your good work, whether or not you feel like it. Okay. Kind of related to that, the fourth bad habit that sabotages your success is waiting for things to calm down. Raise your hand. Let me know how many of you have dealt with this before, where you don't work on your goals or take action because you're waiting for things to calm down. Like, I'll start my business after things calm down and the kids are in school, or I will lose weight after the holidays, or I will quit my job once I pay off this debt, or whatever it might be. You're waiting for things to calm down before you take good action. And that is just going to set you up for failure. You're going to push back your goal and push back your goal and push back your goal. Because if you wait for things to calm down, let's be honest here, things will never, ever calm down. There will always be something in your life. If it's like bad weather one day, then the next day it's going to be you need the money for an emergency, or the next day you're going to be sick, or the next day like someone's going to need something from you. There will always be something going on, something taking your time and energy. So if you really want to reach your goals and be successful, you need to take tiny little action steps. We talked about this in session 1, tiny little daily tasks to inch yourself closer to your goal, regardless of whether or not things are calm. Like if you can get things done and move forward toward your goal, even when there's a lot of other stuff going on, you will be successful. Because here's the thing, you can't like wait for things to calm down and be like, okay, when things are perfect, then I'll reach my goal. Because what if things are not perfect? Or what if it's perfect for a little while and then things get rough again? Are you just going to give up on your goal then because it's not perfect? No. You've got to do your work even when things are busy. Okay. The fifth bad habit that sabotages your success is researching. Researching, what do I mean by that? Well, this is a habit that we think we're doing good, but it's actually slowing us down. So let's say you want to reach some kind of goal. Like let's say you want to pay off your debt. And then you start researching all of the best ways to do that goal. Like you start reading articles and books, and maybe you go to a money seminar, and then you hire a financial planner, and you go down this rabbit hole where you're reading article and article and article, and you do different programs, all dealing with like how to pay off your debt. And after a while, you're just spending hours researching before you even take the first step, before you even pay $1 off your debt, which you could do right now in under a minute. You could pay $1 towards your debt today without having to research about the best way to do it. So if it feels productive when you're researching, but you need to put some kind of boundary around your research. So let's say you're trying to figure out, okay, what's the best way to lose weight or start a business or whatever your goal is. Give yourself an hour, like literally start a timer on your phone and do your research for an hour. Read articles, Google search stuff, watch YouTube videos, whatever it is. And then after that hour, take the teeniest, tiniest next action step to do something positive towards that goal. So if you want to lose weight and you do all this researching stuff, what is the smallest thing you could do next? Maybe it's going to the pantry and throwing out the chips. Or maybe it's getting a glass of water and drinking it. Or maybe it's downloading a calorie counting app on your phone, like something like that. Do the teeniest, tiniest next thing. So at least you're moving forward instead of getting so bogged down by researching that you don't make any progress. This is so common with my clients. It happens to me too. So leave a comment and let me know, when was the last time you got caught up with researching, and how long did it take you before you actually did something productive? All right. Number 6 bad habit that will sabotage your success is striving for perfection. And this is so hard because we want to be perfect. We want things to be just right. We want to put things out there looking good. We don't want to like send an email with typos in it, or we don't want to have a picture of us on our website where we don't look beautiful and glamorous or whatever. Or we don't want to like pay off our debt in the wrong way and get interest or whatever. We want things to be perfect. But again, kind of relating to waiting for things to calm down, things will never be perfect. And if you wait for things to be perfect, you're going to freeze up and not do your work. So I know business owners who have great information that they could get out there to their potential clients, to their followers. Like, this is really good stuff that people need to know, but they're so caught up with perfection. Like, they don't have the best logo, they don't have the best headshot. Are they using the right shade of pink? Whatever. And they're like, oh, and then they just never send their emails, or they never put their products out there. And it's such a shame because it's hurting them because they're not growing their business, but it's also hurting the people who could benefit from whatever it is that they could put out into the world. So if you are sabotaging yourself by striving for perfection, I want you to focus on putting stuff out there to the people who need it, like whoever needs it, your clients and customers, your family, your friends, whoever needs those good things. They just want the information. They're not worried about things being perfect. And I can tell you, after 11 years of running my business, like, I've put out many things that are not perfect, but people still get value out of them and I still get paid. So you can live a happy, successful life by being imperfect. All right. Number 7, the final one, the final bad habit that is sabotaging your success is trying to be like someone else. And maybe you see somebody else who's successful and you're like, oh, I'm just going to emulate what they're doing. And you start copying them and it becomes really obvious. And you're not tapping into your own personality and being yourself. You're trying to be this mask of somebody else who's successful in whatever it is that you want. And honestly, people can see through that. People can 100% see when you are not being truthful, when you're not being sincere, when you're putting on a facade. And that's not going to get you sales if you have a business. That's not going to be sustainable if you're trying to like date and have a relationship. If you're trying to pretend to be somebody else, that's not a good foundation for a new relationship. If you're faking like being someone else in your job, that's going to come bite you in the ass later, because people will realize you don't know what you're doing. So don't try to be like someone else. Just try to be the best version of you. And that is entirely what we're doing here in the Life Editor Weekend Virtual Retreat. I'm sharing my life editing process that's helping you not throw away your current life, but make tiny little edits to become the best version of you. All right. So I want you to open up your workbook, and there's a page that says 7 common habits that sabotage your success. And I want you to write down those 7. Let me recap them real quick right now. So the bad habits are not saying no, not having strong boundaries, waiting until you feel like it, waiting for things to calm down, researching, striving for perfection, and trying to be like someone else. So write down all of those common bad habits. And then the second part is to write down how you're going to delete or avoid these bad habits. So we just talked about researching. If you can put a timer on your research, like I'm only giving myself an hour to research this, and then I have to take action. Or if you are going to come up with a good routine to get your work done, whatever your work is, and stick to that routine regardless of whether or not you feel like it. So come up with those next action steps. I would love to hear you, whether you are watching this live or whether you're watching the replay. Go ahead and leave a comment below and share what bad habits are causing you to sabotage your own success? And what are you going to do about it next? And remember, we have a giveaway for every single session here during the Life Editor Weekend Virtual Retreat. And for this session, I'm giving away a free copy of my digital program, Life Editing for Beginners, which walks you through the 5 steps of my life editing process. It's got tons of videos and worksheets, and it's a really great resource if you are totally new to life coaching and you really want to go through every area of your life in a systematic way. So how you can enter the giveaway for this session is to like this video and leave a comment either on Facebook or YouTube, and you'll be entered into the giveaway for this session, which is Life Editing for Beginners program. And as you know, as we're saying every session, this is our kickoff celebration for my Life Editor Academy Mastermind group. You can apply right now. Doors are open right now. There's a link in the description for more information all about Life Editor Academy, which is my 5-month mastermind group for ambitious women who want to reach all of their big goals. There's one-on-one coaching, group coaching, 3-hour virtual retreats every month, a book and movie club, exclusive videos and worksheets, accountability partners, and tons more. And let me share with you a video from one of the ladies who has graduated Life Editor Academy.
Ann Cook. I own and run Sunstone Bookkeeping, and we are a bookkeeping firm that provides financial support and reporting for animal-related businesses like veterinarians, doggy groomers, doggy daycare services, breeders, trainers, anyone who helps folks take good care of their pets. And I am at www.sunstonebookkeeping.com. Well, I joined Life Editor Academy because after my husband decided to take a very well-deserved sabbatical, I wanted to have the chance to start my own business. But in the midst of doing that, I was also coming back from England, so I was reacquainting myself with the United States and all of my different idiosyncrasies from living there, getting a car, all of those things. And I just needed somebody to serve and help as a focal point to say, okay, here are what you said your priorities are. Let's work on a plan to get them done, and have somebody to check in with, to vent or celebrate or bounce ideas off of. And I had read about Sage's program and really liked her planner and decided I wanted to work with her to help me get everything organized. Well, I mainly joined for starting up my business because Sage has really great programs on how to get a business started in terms of focus, in terms of options, in terms of marketing and branding yourself. So what really changed with me is honing in what I wanted to do exactly as a bookkeeper, specifically working with veterinarians and other animal care businesses. So she has been very helpful in keeping me on that track, even when I was tearing my hair out because others were telling me, no, don't specialize. But it turns out she was my champion to keep me on that particular path, and I never swayed away from it. And as a result, I'm actually getting some pretty good traction. She also helped me with ideas on branding, ideas on finding new clients via the internet. And the most important thing was get it done. It doesn't have to be perfect. There can always be a version 2.0 or a version 2.1. So the most important thing is to get moving. So she helped me out of the hemming and hawing phase most people get when they're starting a new business, and had me go into the momentum and forward movement to actually get started. Sage is Sage, oddly enough. She actually does have quite a bit of wisdom when it comes to starting a new business. It is, for me, the perfect balance of kind guidance and you need to get this done. So it was, for me, the perfect balance to keep me motivated and keep me excited, but not make me feel guilty if for some reason life happened and I had to shift a few things, because she was always there to say, I'm still proud of what you've done. See, you can do this. Let's get you going some more. And here we go. There is no debate. Do it. This is actually fabulous. You get unlimited email support. You get fantastic worksheets and videos and books to read and you're part of a community of women who are all wanting to see each other succeed instead of tear each other down. There is absolutely no meanness in any of the interactions I have had with other Academy members. It has all been wonderfully supportive and helpful. If we have questions of each other, we'll try to answer them the best way possible. So, as Yoda would say, do or do not, but in this case, you need to do. This is definitely a do it. Do it!
All right. Thank you so much, Jerry Ann. All right. Like we said, it is now open for you to apply to Life Editor Academy. There we go. So you can click the link below. I put the link here on the screen, and doors are now open, and you can go to the info page and get all the details about the Academy, read more testimonials, watch more testimonial videos, see inside of our portal, get a preview of our videos and worksheets, lots of stuff on the info page. And then you can apply now for Life Editor Academy, and doors are open until June 24th. So please apply now and schedule your free discovery call with me where I can answer all of your questions about the Academy. All right, Life Editors, this has been 7 common habits that sabotage your success. If you are watching the replay, go ahead and leave a comment. I see all the comments that come in, and you'll be entered to win this session's giveaway. Like this video and leave a comment to enter the giveaway. All right, we have another session starting in just a few minutes, so I will talk to you again real soon. Bye.